Hey everybody, how's it going? Jonathan Lipp here from the Big Apple Film Festival. Welcome to another episode of BAFF Chats. We're here today on 46th Street, right in Midtown Manhattan, otherwise known as Restaurant Row. Hanging out here today with Doug Shultz, who made a film called Defiant Requiem, a documentary film that screened at the Big Apple Film Festival a few years back. So just so everybody knows, can you tell us a little bit about Defiant Requiem?
Sure. Defiant Requiem. Defiant Requiem is about a conductor who was imprisoned in a concentration camp in the Czech Republic called Theresienstadt, or Terezín. And in this camp, there were a lot of artists and musicians who had been interned from Prague. And he, as an act of cultural defiance, sort of spearheaded this movement. And, he put together a chorus of 150 inmates and taught them to perform Verdi's Requiem by rote. They memorized it, and they performed it, sort of reimagining the text as a condemnation of the Nazis. And they did eventually end up performing it in front of the Nazis themselves.
Wow, amazing. One of the issues that I've sort of discussed with other documentary filmmakers is some of them are a bit fearful of making films on topics or subjects that have been addressed already. And I hear you have a film like Defiant Requiem, which is based on concentration camps, and obviously there's a lot of content out there in that particular arena. So how did you guys sort of feel about making a film about something that it's been out there, people have talked about it? Did you feel like that created more of a challenge for you, or were you like, well, but this is our own unique perspective, so this is ours, so it doesn't really matter that there's all this other content?
Well, I agree. If someone had just come to us and said, let's make a Holocaust documentary, I probably would have said no, because you feel like you've seen it all, when really we haven't. I mean, you think you know it all, and then you turn the page and you learn something even more horrible. And that's the problem, is that it's an immediate kind of turnoff. People sort of have, they're tired of seeing the same Holocaust stories over and over. But when I heard this one, it was unlike anything I'd ever heard, and no one that I had spoken to had heard it either. And it's it leaves you feeling very positive, if you can say that. It's a really inspiring story, and it really is a testament to the power of creativity and of human resilience. So it's not like anything that I had ever seen, and that's how the audience has responded to it as well.
Right, because within that large sort of general subject of the concentration camps and the Holocaust, obviously there's all these individual stories, and each of them themselves are very unique. So I thought that was really cool, how you address something within that genre that really hadn't been addressed before. So that's awesome. In terms of documentary filmmaking as a whole, do you think it's a challenging thing right now for documentary filmmakers to be able to, raise the necessary finances to make a feature documentary? I mean, it seems like there's so many people on Kickstarter and Indiegogo who are trying to do that right now. What are some of the challenges that documentary filmmakers or people that want to make documentary films should be aware of right now? You just said it. It's really all about the money. Defiant Requiem took years to put together, and it evolved over the course of those years. The longer you take to raise your money, the more your project changes. So it evolved from a concert film into something more. I think Kickstarter and all of these things are great tools for people to get the money that they need, because it is really tough, especially in the documentary world. The options are a little limited right now, as cable has moved more and more towards a reality TV-based format. The venues for documentary have kind of dried up. Other than PBS and HBO docs, they do great work, but it's limited. So there's a lot of chatter right now that things are going to swing the other way. A lot of these broadcasters are saying they want to go back to doing documentary stuff, but we're all waiting to see if that turns out to be the case. So for now, hitting the pavement and trying to raise your own funds is really the best way to put together a good solid pitch reel, at least, to get someone's interest. Do you think that there's a future right now for theatrical distribution in terms of the documentary form?
I think so. I'm not an expert on distribution, but documentaries seem to be hot right now, but it doesn't mean that people are always making money off of them. With all of the investment from places like Netflix, they did Virunga, and movies like that, which are really big,
but we're on this we're at this period where in the next few years things could change dramatically. You know, it could be your goal to have a documentary go straight to Netflix. We don't know. I mean, I hope that theatrical documentary sticks around because everyone loves to go and watch movies on a big screen. I do. But the model is changing quickly, so we're all kind of waiting to see where it's going to go.
Right. And in terms of niche audiences, did you guys make this film specifically for a specific audience, or is this supposed to be sort of a general film for the general population?
No, I think, you know, a film like this comes with a built-in niche audience. You know, I think Defiant Requiem is played at Jewish film festivals. I don't even know how many, like 50 plus, 60 around the world. But I think that it appeals to a much broader audience than that, and it has, because it's not about being Jewish. It's about creativity and art and music and channeling your creativity to survive the worst circumstances you can imagine. And I think, you know, the story is so incredible, it doesn't need any help in getting that kind of interest from people. We just had to present it in an honest way and do it in a way that we didn't feel was exploitive.
Yeah.
So that was the challenge.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's so important, you know, to see, you know, films like this, because even if you're not part of that niche audience, so to speak, I mean, if you look at a movie like The Act of Killing, you know, which is about, you know, mass executions that were taking place in Indonesia, it could in so many ways be related, you know, to the Holocaust, you know, and then there's the film with Don Cheadle, Rwanda. So if you look at these other films, like, even though it may not be the same culture of people or religion or whatever it might be, there's still that relationship. So it's like you have this niche audience, but at the same time you've got this broader spectrum as well. And just so everyone knows, where can we see Defiant Requiem?
Defiant Requiem is now, it's still playing at film festivals 3 years later, and it is available on Netflix, so you can watch it right at home.
Awesome. Right on Netflix, Defiant Requiem. Well, check it out. I want to thank Doug Shultz for being here with us. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And thanks for watching BAFF Chats.